The fourth verse begins Sacha Sahib. Sacha Sahib, Sach Nae. If we look at the word Sahib, it's got an ankar, which means that it's a singular word. It's referring to one master. Sahib is master. And it's a masculine word, which is why it has an ankar underneath it. So there is this one master. Now, it isn't saying that the master is masculine. Gurbani doesn't entertain this idea that the divine has a gender. The divine is gender neutral, free from gender. It's not male or female, but words within Punjabi language are defined to what we would call Istriling or Pulling words. Istriling are feminine words, Pulling are masculine words. So Sahib is a masculine word, which is why the word Sacha is used. Sacha is also a masculine adjective. So it's saying that Sacha Sahib. You would only say Sacha to something that's a masculine word. Otherwise you could say Sachi. Yeah? So here the word is a masculine word, Sacha. The word Sacha we've come across before in Ad Sach, Jugad Sach. Sach doesn't just mean truth, it means a permanent truth. Sach means permanent. Something that's never changing. Something that's consistent and stays the same throughout. So that's the definition of Sach. And Gurbani has said that only the ik onkar, that's the only thing that is Sach. That's the only thing that's permanent. Nothing else is permanent in life. Yeah? So it's reaffirming that idea that this one master is permanent. It's unchanging. So the second word we see in there is Nae. Sacha Sahib, Sach Nae. Sach again has an ankar underneath it, which means it's a masculine word. Nae here comes from the word Nyay. Nyay means justice. A lot of times you'll see the translation of this word saying that it's actually Nae means Naam, which means the name. But in this particular verse, Nae means Nyay, justice. Law. Yeah? System of law. Nyay. So if we were to translate that line in English, we can say the unchanging master, Sacha Sahib, the unchanging master and unchanging law. Think of hukam like a cosmic law. Yeah? Like gravity is a law of physics, a law of science, it's a law of the universe. Hukam is also a cosmic law. It's just the way the system works, the way the universe works. That the universe controls the universe. So if we were to translate this line, we would say Sacha Sahib, the unchanging master and unchanging law, unchanging justice. So here we can start seeing that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is now creating almost a picture, trying to use an analogy, and the analogy being used here is that of a king, Sahib, yeah, who has a system, a law, a rule of governance. So it's starting to use the analogy of a king, and we'll see that analogy throughout this verse. This verse is really interesting because as we go through it, you'll see that there are many layers to this verse. It's talking to lots of different people in lots of different ways. Yeah? There's lots of subtleties within this verse. So the overall analogy is that the one, the divine, is like a king, sitting on his throne, giving out instructions. That's what your hukam is like. And your instructions of hukam are going to keep going. This king is permanent and this system of delivering hukam is going to be permanent. So this Nyaya system is just talking about the hukam that we've already covered in the previous verses. So if Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that you are the master, then Guru Nanak Dev Ji automatically places himself as the servant. If you are my master, then I automatically become your servant. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji places himself as low, as the servant of this master. So all of us are the servants of this master. We are under this master's command. Hukme andar sabko, bahar hukum na koi. Nobody is outside of the master's command. Yeah? So although the Guru is using almost a human-like analogy, we've now seen enough from the first few verses and the Mool Mantra that we're not thinking of a God, male, masculine character. That's not what we're talking about. We're simply using that as an analogy. But Gurbani has already described the God that we're talking about. Its oneness, its universal, its truth, its existence. Yeah? It's something that's intangible, it's nirgun, it's sargun, it's formless and with form. So we're not talking about Mr. God here. It's just simply using an analogy of a king. Analogy. Sacha Sahib, Sach true is your justice, permanent is your justice. But how do you deliver that justice? Pakya Pao Apar. Pakya means language, Pao means love. But you deliver that system in a loving way. And you are infinite, apar. Par means to cross something over. We talk about being able to cross, if there was a road or if there was a river in front of you, to cross that river would be to do a par, to cross that. Something that is apar is something that cannot be crossed. Something where you can't get to the other side. There's no limit to you. So apar means unlimited. There's no end to you. Limitless. So let's kind of just dissect this idea a little bit. Being loving has nothing to do with loving another person. Let's think about that. How do we understand love? We understand love that I'm here and there is somebody else that I love. So in order for me to have love, there has to be a somebody else. That's the only way that we understand love. We can love our family, we can love our parents, we can love our husband, our wife, our children. Yeah? But all of those require the other person. So by saying that I love somebody, what you're saying is if that somebody wasn't there, I don't have a capacity to love. My capacity to love requires the other person. This is not the love that we're talking about here. That's a very worldly level love. That's the kind of love that you and me know on a daily basis. We only know how to love the external. So here the word is pao, love. But Gurbani uses a very specific way of describing love for something external. Gurbani calls that duja pao, loving the second type of love. Loving the other, duja, loving the other. And Gurbani uses that, duja pao, in a negative context. Duja pao is duality. Duality means that there is two, there's always two of something. I can only love something else. That's duja pao. I can only love something else, yeah? Something external to me. And Gurbani says that that's not a good love. That's duality. Because if you're stuck in duality, then you're lost in an illusion that there is a me and there is a you. Now, when Gurbani says here that you, pakya pao apar, you speak this language of love, how can it have the same type of love that we have? It can't. Because it is ik. There is no other. If it has no fear of anyone else, nirpal, if it has no hatred towards anyone else, nirvair, it can also not have any love towards anyone else. Because there is nobody else. There is only one. Not that there is only one God and he just loves himself. There is only oneness. How can the oneness love something else? There is nothing else for it to love. So what we're talking about here is you need to understand that there is a capacity within you to just radiate love. That there's love just pouring out of you. So imagine that you're in a state where there is just love pouring out of you, and whoever walks and crosses your path just receives that love. Not because you're in love with that other person, but simply because that's all that's coming out of you. You're radiating love. From within you, there's just love all the time in every direction. That whoever comes across your path, they receive some of that love, but if they leave, your love doesn't stop. So you're in a state of lovingness all the time. That's what this is talking about. And it's starting to hint that there's a type of love that we haven't known, that we haven't done in our life. Yeah, we've always done duja. We've always fallen in love with something external, but there's a different type of love here. A love where you're just radiating love. So within you, if there is this oneness that's just radiating love, then you have to find, is there a part of me that's also doing that I've just never known? Is there a way to live in a loving way that is independent of anybody else? Friend or enemy comes across your path, you're just bursting with love. That's the love being talked about here. And this is your language of love. Pakhya Pao. Your language is of love. And it's infinite, apart. You are infinite, and this will never stop. That's how the oneness lives. It lives in a state of love. And when it is in love with everything and anything, of course then it is Nanak Viksa Ve Parva. Of course it is carefree. Of course it is playful. Of course it is worry-free. Because it's just radiating love, like nothing can affect it. There's lots of different levels to this shabad, it's so interesting. Sacha Sahib, Sach Nai, Pakhya Pao Apar.